1.1.4 now, we have two parallel lines, PQ and RS, and a transversal here, AB, cutting through them. And we've got a bunch of unknown angles here given by expressions, algebraic expressions that represent the unknown angles. Now, please don't be intimidated when you see these types of angles, unknown angles. They are now simply, or they are no longer simply just x's and y's. They are still algebraic expressions, because an unknown angle given by x or 2x, that's an algebraic expression, and you are able to solve for those types of unknowns. In this case, we now have a slightly more complex algebraic expression. It just has more terms. There's more terms involved here, but it's still an algebraic expression. It still just represents the unknown angle. So this angle here is given by 2y plus 15 degrees. This one 3x minus 20 degrees, and this one x plus 30 degrees. And we need to, of course, note that there are two different variables that are included in this diagram. So we need to solve for them both. And they cannot also be solved at the same time. So we're going to have to do them separately. We just need to decide which one are we going to go for first. So as ek kyk na hierdie diagram eerstens, dan sal ek sien 2y plus 15 grade uit nie. Daar's nie nog 'n uitdrukking hierso vir hoek wat gegee word in terme van y nie. En ons kan nie eintlik vir 2y plus 15 grade oplos tensy ons miskien in hierdie geval 3x minus 20 grade eers oplos, sodat ons dan hoeke op 'n reguit lyn kan gebruik, of ons kan miskien hierdie hoek hierso oplos, dan kan ons teenoorstaande hoeke gebruik. Maar die punt wat ek wil maak is, ons kan nie vir 2y plus 15 grade eers oplos nie, want daar is te min inligting in terme van y. So what are we able to do with the x variables? Because it seems that there's more information here, there's more expressions, and I can of course identify that these two angles are corresponding angles. At this point, I am expecting most learners to at least identify the different types of angle pairs, that being alternate, corresponding, co-interior. So here, of course, you can see the F shape, the upside down one, because there we've got our corresponding angles. So ons weet dat ooreenkomstige hoeke gelyk is aan mekaar. So ons kan daar begin. We can say that x plus 30 degrees is equal to 3x minus 20 degrees. And the reason for that is corresponding angles. Dit is ooreenkomstige hoeke. And that is because PQ is parallel to RS. Okay, so there I've got my equation. And then I can just simplify and solve for x. Again, I'm going to choose to solve for x from the right-hand side, because I want to keep my terms positive immediately. So I'll subtract x from both sides. So 3x minus x will be 2x. And then I'm going to add 20 degrees to both sides. So that will be 30 plus 20, which gives me 50 degrees. Then solving for x, I need to divide by 2. So 2x divided by 2 is x. And then I've got 50 degrees divided by 2, which gives me 25 degrees. So x is gelyk aan 25 grade. So what do I do with this? I now need to, remember we said that in order for us to solve for the y, we need to know at least what is the value of this angle over here, because then we can use adjacent angles on the straight line PQ. So if I can find out the value of this, then I can simply take that away from 180 degrees, and we can do something there to find y. So in order for me to do that, I need to go find out what is the value of 3x minus 20 degrees. And now that I know what x is, I can simply use substitution. So I can then take 3x minus 20 degrees, and I can substitute 25 degrees into the value for x. And I have 25 times 3 gives us 75 degrees minus 20 degrees. So that gives us 55 degrees. So 3x minus 20 is 55 degrees. And I can just write that in there. 55 degrees. So now I can say, well, I've got now I've got 55 degrees and I've got 2y plus 15 degrees on the straight line PQ. And I know that if I add 55 degrees to 2y plus 15 degrees, I must get 180 degrees. So ek kan dan sê 2a plus 15 grade plus die 55 grade is gelyk aan 180 grade. En die rede vir dit is, hoeke op 'n reguit lyn that's adjacent angles on straight line. And now of course we can just solve for y by simplifying first. So I got 2y here plus 55 plus 15 is 70 degrees. That's 180 of course. Then I'll subtract 70 from both sides and I would then have 110 degrees here. And then I would divide both sides by 2 and I have 55 degrees as my answer. So you might say, oh, but x was also 55 degrees. Can it be true that y is also 55? Well, if I take y is equal to 55 and multiply it by 2, I get 110 plus 15 gives us 125 degrees plus 55 degrees will then give us 180. So it does add up to 180. So it is correct.